Can Satan be converted? Discussion between John, Bishop Martin, and Satan. Watch out! A trap. Chapter 193. Satan speaks to Martin, who wants to convert him. Satan. O friend, O son, the endless sweetness of the heavens is only too well known to me, and so is the terrible harshness of my present state. But what can I do? A fully grown oak tree can no longer be bent, and even less I, as the original oak of all creation. But eventually it should become possible that your kind wish is fulfilled. You should rather look towards the earth, where things are in a very bad state. That would be of more benefit to you than endeavoring to achieve the still quite impossible. What do you think about that, my dear son Martin? Chapter 194. Says Martin. Poor friend, it may all be as you describe to me with kind patience. However, like all blind people, I am rather skeptical. Or maybe more ignorant than skeptical. Therefore, I simply cannot understand why all creation should be unable to exist without you. All the more so, since through your conversion to God, you would not cease to exist, but on the contrary, you would become endlessly more perfect in your being. The Lord has given me the realization that you must be preserved at all costs, because, according to the divine order, the preservation of the natural worlds and beings depends on you. However, what do the transient substances matter? Once you have been won as perfected, which depends entirely on your will, all matter will have become quite superfluous anyway, since matter is nothing else but your obstinacy under judgment. With your conversion and perfection, it would immediately disintegrate in accordance with the Lord's wish, and be perfected in its purely spiritual substance, which, at present, your judged obstinacy is holding imprisoned and gagged within matter. However, our spiritual substance, as well as the new earth and new heaven, have really nothing to do with you, for the polarities for their eternal existence are to be found in the Lord alone, in the form of love and wisdom, or goodness and truth. You are right in advising us to concentrate our attention on the earth, which is, indeed, in a bad state. But I insist, my poor friend and brother, that the moment you turn back, not only the earth, but all creation will regain its original divine purity and perfection. All evil will cease, and all that has still to walk the hard path of the flesh and matter under judgment will be perfected in the moment of your conversion. For what else is the path of the flesh, if not a laborious separation from you and a troublesome rise from your state of judgment? When the judgment has ended for you, there would not be any need for matter or the difficult way of the cross for the flesh. I am convinced to have spoken the full truth with my best intention and will. Follow my advice, and you will see that the result will be quite different from what you now imagine. Chapter 195. Says Satan. Friend, at least you present your short-sightedness concerning me in a nice and calm manner. Otherwise, your understanding of these things and circumstances is still extremely backward. I now see that you have not really understood a word of what I told you. Therefore, it would be futile to endeavor to reveal to you the deeper relation between God and me in more detail. You would comprehend it even less than what I have told you so far. So, I think we should part in peace and each attend to his own important business. For without understanding each other, our futile discussions will never bring results. I do understand what you want, but you do not, and you cannot understand what is possible and what is not. But because of your very nice attitude, I shall tell you something that you will find very useful. You, like your entire world, regard me as the basis for all principal evil, originating in my extreme arrogance. If self-confidence, the awareness of your existence, self-determination of your power, and the activity resulting from it deserve this insulting term, I accept it. But what is that within you, friend Martin, if you want to accomplish my conversion in order to be praised by the Lord and make for yourself the greatest name in all the heavens? With your tongue, you have gained a victory over the dwellers in this world, and the Lord has highly praised you for it. He has treated you with distinction before all your brothers of equal or even greater merit. And now, by winning a victory over me, you probably want to attain for yourself the greatest fame in heaven. You want to hear yourself be praised thusly. Look what myriads of the mightiest spirits and even God himself have failed to achieve. There, the weak Martin has gloriously succeeded. Do you think, Martin, that such an aspiration is anything but the greatest hidden arrogance, compared with which mine is nothing? Abandon this from deep within you, and only then we might be able to continue our discussion. For, in my true shape, I am light, and we can only talk with each other effectively if you are quite pure. So go and cleanse yourself of all impurity, and then return to talk to me, the original light from eternity. Chapter 196. These words from Satan have startled Martin considerably, all the more so because he really feels a bit guilty. When his mind has somewhat calmed down, he turns to John and says, "Dear brother, whom the Lord has filled with wisdom like none other, what do you think about this? Should I believe Satan in this one point? I do have an innermost feeling that he is not quite wrong." Says John, "Leave this matter now alone, for where we have never been able to achieve anything, also your efforts will be in vain. Bid him to keep peace in the name of the Lord, and let us then go home to the Father. Let him do with Satan as he pleases, and that will be best." Says Satan, "And just because you have given my Martin such advice, I will not be told by him to keep my peace. I will do him the honor of going with him before the Lord, in order to discuss this matter, which none of you understands, with the Lord himself. Now, go home, and I shall follow you of my own free will." Says John, "Unfortunately, we know your intentions, and that you are never more dangerous than when you don the garb of humanitarianism. Therefore, if you have the courage, you will have to find your own way to the Lord. We are not commissioned to take you, the Lord's greatest enemy, with us." It would be quite different, of course, if you had followed Martin's sound advice and returned to the Father as a repentant, prodigal son. In that case, all of us would have welcomed you as a companion, but you are of no use to us the way you are. However, if you want to see the Lord, you know the road to him only too well. But as you are now, you can never, ever walk in our company. So be it, in the name of our and your God and Lord." Upon these words, Satan scowls and says, "If the Lord will send me messengers like you again, I swear by all that is sacred to me that I will not turn back in eternities, even if the Lord judged me with the fire of all the central suns." Martin might achieve something with me, but John, Peter, and Paul, not ever. Mind these words, you hard, merciless lout of a disciple of Christ. Do you think I am scared or intimidated by you and your words because you are John, the scribbler of the Gospel and the Revelation? You are quite mistaken if you do. A blowfly created by me has much more worth to me than 1,000 prophets like you. You should be ashamed of your hard-heartedness towards those who are the same Creator's work, even though miserable and wretched. The Lord himself has characterized you most appropriately when, in his great parable of the prodigal son, he said, "When the father gave a great feast for the poor prodigal son who had returned home, and the other sons and children heard about it, they came and said angrily, 'You have never given a feast for us who have always been faithful. But when this depraved son returns, he who had hurt you so much that heaven and earth shook from horror, you give him your signet ring and prepare a feast for him?'" I need not remind you of the father's reply to this complaint, for you will remain unchanged, hard-hearted and merciless like all the rest of your rabble. Martin, however, is an exception, although, since influenced by you, he was rather rude for a while. But he improved, and the talk with him was the first blissful moment for my heart since unimaginable aeons. Therefore, I shall always hold him in high esteem, and if ever anyone could achieve something with me, it would be Martin. You others can save yourselves the trouble forever. Go now, and I will stay here. Says John, "You have wronged me very much, because it was I who reproved Martin and caused him to set you free after he had, through his might, banned you forever to that streaming crater of fire and even covered you up with glowing mountains. Considering what I did then for you, how can I be a hard and merciless lout?" Says Satan, "Friend, do not talk to me of your charity. What Martin did was done out of thoughtlessness, and upon realizing that it was wrong, he immediately righted his thoughtless action. But you are the way you are, and you will never change your outlook, be it right or wrong. Because of this, I hate and despise you more than my worst suffering and torment. To you, Martin, my respect, but to the rest of you, my everlasting and deepest contempt. Now go away, or I shall cause an uproar as has not yet been seen in all infinity." Says John, "We are not here to take orders from you, but to stop your evil activity. Therefore, we shall leave when it is the Lord's will, not when it suits you. If you wish to cause an uproar, you may try, and you will soon find that our power over you is greater than yours over us. Since you ordered us to leave here immediately, we could give you quite a different order in the name of the Lord. But we do not want to repay evil with evil, and we advise you to keep quiet if you do not wish or are unable to follow Martin's call. This is the final short period of time you have left for your conversion. If you do not make use of it, you shall be under the most severe judgment forever." You refer to the parable of the prodigal son in order to accuse us of hardness of heart. However, I assure you that the prodigal son will return also without you, namely in the many devout brothers who will be standing before God with one mind, like one man. But you shall be cast into the everlasting fire of God's judgment, like the rich spendthrift, if you do not follow Martin's call very soon." Says Satan, "The Lord may do as he pleases, but so will I. I shall prove to him and all of you that the Lord can scatter all infinity with his might like chaff, but my heart and will shall forever defy his omnipotence and wisdom with the hardest invincible defiance. Now do what you want, and I shall do what I want." Says Martin, "O brother, as I can now see, all our efforts are in vain, so let us go. I now realize beyond doubt that nothing more can be achieved with this Satan." Says John, "Dear Martin, if he had not ordered us to go home, we would already have done so, but his will must never determine our actions. Therefore, we shall delay our departure for a while. If we left now just because he told us to, he would have achieved a triumph over us, and if that happened, we would be in trouble. So we will and must wait for a while and tidy up this area. So be it.